when I tell you this boy totally changed my life for the worst, I'm not joking. Also a big red flag, if you feel like, oh, I can change him. No, you cannot change him. Should have got out at the beginning because that would have saved me a lot of heartache. Hello friends, it's Jara. Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, my name is Jara and I make videos about faith, home, and lifestyle, so make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, and I honestly have not prepared much for this, so I'm not sure what we're gonna get out of this, but you know, sometimes my squeaky couch, sometimes the, you know, not planned for spontaneous videos end up being the best somehow. So let's hope that is the case today. But something I've been thinking about lately, and something that I used to think about a lot when me and my husband first started dating, was I was so shocked at our relationship because it was a healthy, loving relationship in comparison to the other guys that I had been with in the past. And there's little things almost still to this day after 4 years of being together that my husband does or that I notice that remind me how grateful I am for him and what a difference it is compared to the toxic relationships that I was in. So I thought maybe I should do a little video talking about like red flags in my past dating experiences and all the little things that my husband does now that he goes above and beyond. And also just sometimes it is small stuff that probably seem insignificant to other people, but to me, it means the world. So not even sure how I'll make this a title, but that's what the video is gonna be about. So yeah, let's get into it. Truthfully, I feel like I could do an entire series based off of like red flags and like signs you're dating a narcissist and like toxic stuff like that. Because truthfully, I believe I dated at least one narcissist. And I'm not here to diagnose anybody, you know what I mean? I'm saying this loosely because I'm not a doctor or a therapist or anything, but just from my experiences and learning about it a little bit more. But pretty much my first relationship started when I was 16 years old. And when I tell you this boy totally changed my life for the worst, I'm not joking. Man, how do I even dive into this? And honestly, it's been so many years now, I've forgotten a lot of this, and maybe it's because some of it is trauma blocked, but red flags from the beginning is that pretty much throughout my whole dating experience, I don't know, timeline, all the years that I dated, I always felt like I was the one chasing after the boys. I never felt like I was the one being pursued. In my first relationship, this guy thought he was a catch. He was arrogant. He thought he was just the cat's meow and tried to make me feel like I was so special and like it was such a privilege that I was the one who got to date him. And he made me feel as if I was chopped liver, pretty much. So I felt like I had to pursue him. So red flag number one, kind of chase after him, you know, all the things. And we stopped talking very quickly after we first met. Like we were talking for like a couple of months. I don't even remember what happened. He probably said something very obscene and ridiculous and I ended it. And then guess what? I went back. So first of all, girls and guys, if your partner is already showing you big red flags from the very beginning, let's just exit. Let's just leave this relationship. Let's not try to go back and force it just because we feel desperate. That was me. Should have got out at the beginning because that would have saved me a lot of heartache. But this guy would tend to brag about all the girls he's been with or all the girls that want to be with him, and really did make me feel like, wow, I'm just so special that I was the chosen girl and I get to be with this guy. No. Arrogance is never a good sign. Also a big red flag, if you feel like, oh, I can change him. No, you cannot change him. I promise you, there's no way you're going to change this guy. No way, no way, no way, no way. If he does not care enough about himself to want to be better and like sees like, oh, I'm a crappy human being, I should probably change and like become a better person, there's no way he's gonna change for you. If he's a crappy person, he don't care about you anyway. So let's chuck that ideology or belief out the window, whatever the saying is, because don't be with somebody if you think you have to change them. If there's already a list of things going on in your mind of like, oh, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's a red flag, just stop now. Another big red flag was that he degraded me in a lot of ways. And I think a lot of my insecurities started at this age because I was 16 years old. I already had struggled with body image issues since I was like 12 years old. And he would comment very derogatory on my appearance and my body, be very critical of me. And that was really hard for me. But then whenever he would compliment me, it would feel like, oh my God, just thank you for going above and beyond to make me feel special. And now I'm amazing. And then the second I would upset him, it would go the exact same way back again. You want to be with somebody who loves you. The difference, I'll have to wait to compare to my husband because it'll be a long list, but your partner should never, and I'm being serious, go out of their way to degrade you. Your spouse should never look at you and be like, ugh, this is ugly and that looks bad and this, you've gained some weight, and it should never even be a thought in their mind. If you're genuinely in love with somebody and you're a kind person and you're a Christian as well, you should want to uplift your spouse and love them and treat them with adoration and look at them in that love. And like, I've never been a person who's been critical of people. Like, I would never look at somebody and go out of my way to be hateful or degrade them or whatever, because I never put looks that high up on a pedestal. So to hear myself be critiqued so hardcore was very hard for me. It affected my confidence completely. I had no self-worth for myself already, which came from the years of pornography addiction that I suffered from. So my self-worth just plummeted from this man and the other things going on in my life. And so I felt like I had to be with him and there was no other option. I remember going to therapy all these years of being with this guy, or however long it was, I don't even remember now, but I remember telling her, like, would it be easier just to start over with somebody else and have a clean slate and not have all of these things to work through? And you know, she's pretty much like, yes, but it's up to you, because your therapist doesn't want to try to force you into something, even if it would be better for you. Another red flag, and this is a big one to my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ: you shouldn't be with somebody who wants to pressure you into doing things you don't want to do, ever. Should never have someone try to push you or shame you or use things against you or try to manipulate you. Huge red flags. You should both want the same thing and have the same goal in mind. Now, struggling together and like struggling with your lust or your affection for each other is a different thing, but having somebody who's like trying to push you and persuade you is different, okay? And I wish the first sign of that, I would have ran away, because it would have saved me a lot, I'm not joking, a lot of heartbreak. Take that stuff seriously. If a man or a woman does not want to value you and care about your honor and what you want, toss them out the door. Get them out of here. We don't want to be with that type of person. Is that who you want to spend the rest of your life with? Somebody who does not care about you or what you want for yourself. These are big discussions and big things that really matter. Don't settle for that. And I never felt like I was the type of girl that boys typically were drawn to. And so when this boy came along, who was charming and I thought he was handsome and all these things, and he was a player, so like he had cred and whatever. I'm not cool enough to say cred, but he had, you know, he had the swagger and whatnot. I felt like I couldn't let him go. I was like, I have to keep this guy. Like, he's cool and all the girls want to be with him and he chose me, so I have to stay with him. That led to years of manipulation, abuse, all the things of torment from this man. I do feel like I'm pretty far away right now. There we go. So then came the red flags of other girls. Of course, he turned out to be a cheater. I mean, all the red flags are there, but yet I kept pushing on. So some other red flags, hold on, before I get into that, was this guy wanted to join the military, right? So went to basic training for months. We wrote each other letters, whatever. I go to see him after basic training ended. Didn't want to show me any type of affection, wouldn't hold my hand, didn't want to give me a hug. I went all this time without seeing him, I think I flew, or I drove a long ways to go see him. Treated me like garbage. Like I was nothing, like did not care to see me. And then also, you know, we were trying to plan what we thought was our future and whatnot, and he got to choose where he would want to be stationed. And we had a long distance relationship, and I was like, oh great, like he's probably gonna choose to be here near me so we can have a relationship together and eventually get married and, you know, all the things. And his first choice, somewhere overseas. Red flag. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't want to be with you. It's like, how are we naive and we see these red flags over and over again? Like, they're not actually planning for your future. They treat you like garbage. They don't hold the same values as you do. They don't make you feel special or loved or seen or celebrated. All of these things together, I should have stopped after the first time. After the first major red flag, I should have walked away. And yet now I can look back and see a huge long list of things I should have never put up with. And on top of that, when they make you feel like you're annoying or weird, that's one of my biggest pet peeves ever. When people look down on others and try to embarrass you and act like, oh, well, you're weird, or like you're strange, or you're very annoying. After that relationship, I had this deep-rooted insecurity that I was annoying people all the time, just being myself. The cheating, I forgot. Then this man, I find out that he had cheated on me with a bunch of different girls, and he tries to excuse it. He tried to make up excuses. I went back to this man 2 more times after I saw that he cheated on me. Why? Because I was desperate. I thought I had to be with this guy. I mean, he was my first kiss, my first boyfriend, like all the things. And I felt like I had to stay with him forever. Don't settle. Do not. And then following this, the other guys I was with, garbage too. I mean, I don't know why these guys I'd go out with were literally just these arrogant, cocky guys. Now, in comparison, green flags, okay? My husband pursued me relentlessly for months to get me to go out with him. Okay, a little bit of a story time. We met online and matched on a dating app. He was going to a university here and I went to a church right next to it. So we were kind of crossing paths, but had never officially like met in person or anything. So we met on a dating app, and then I would go through these phases where I would have a dating app, pretty much get very frustrated very quickly because a lot of those people don't have the best intentions. So then he'd delete the dating app and whatever. But we matched on a dating app, talked a little bit. I gave him my Instagram, thank God, because we wouldn't be here if not. And from that point, he messaged me on Instagram for 8 months asking me to go out with him. And at this time, I was so over guys. I was so annoyed and frustrated, and I didn't feel like dating. I was kind of tired of the heartbreak and how exhausting it all was. So I was just like, I don't want to date. I don't want to go out. I just don't want to do any of this stuff. But guess what? He pursued me. He made me feel very special. He made me feel like I was one of a kind. And he did not give up. He made me feel very, very pursued. And that was the first time in my life I'd ever felt like that. Our first date brings me a huge bouquet of peonies, the most beautiful bouquet you've ever seen. Like, the attention to detail, because a few weeks beforehand we were talking about gardening and flowers and whatnot, and I was like, I love peonies. I've never even seen them in person before, and I just think those are beautiful. I'd love to plant those someday or something. First date brings me a huge bouquet of peonies. The thoughtfulness, the care for me, and what my interest was and what I enjoyed from the first date. Something else that's like a small thing that other people probably wouldn't care about, that just stands out to me, is the other guys that I dated, whenever we would get in the car, they would never allow me to have the aux cord. They would never allow me to play my music. They would degrade my music taste, they would talk crap about it, and they would always act like, well, I'm gonna play my music because it's superior. With Richard, from the very beginning, he's like, I love your music taste. Like, every single time to this day, 4 years later, I have the aux every time we get in the car, pretty much. Like, I offered, do you want to play music? He's like, no, you're good, play your music. He loves my music. I get to play music every single time we're in the car. And I know that sounds silly, but that was a big deal to me, because I had never had a guy not try to be degrading to my music taste. It's the smaller things too, like holding open the door for me. The humbleness of Richard and how he was down to earth, such the opposite of an arrogant, cocky guy. It was like astounding to me how humble he was and down to earth. And the heck was that? I'm over bug season. Okay. Anyway. And something else. This was the moment I knew I loved Richard. It was only our first month of dating, so, you know. But this is what I was talking about earlier, about people always trying to make me feel like I was annoying. We were out to eat with some friends or something, and I think I made like a stupid joke, and someone said something like, oh, Jerry, you're so annoying, like a joke. And Richard goes, no, she's not. And just like, I don't know, in that moment, that was a really big deal to me. Like, all the other times in the past, the boyfriends would make me feel like, oh yeah, she is annoying. Oh yeah, she's stupid. She's a weirdo. And my boyfriend of only a few weeks at that point already was like defending me and being like, she's not annoying. Don't act like that. Like, don't say that about her, and defending me. It was a big deal to me, honestly. Another thing is, my husband has made me feel so confident. Now, when I tell you, this man has never uttered a disrespectful or degrading word to me about how I look, ever. It's been the exact opposite. That's what you need in your life. You need someone who is obsessed with you, who adores you, who makes you feel so confident and so good about yourself. Having that in comparison to how I used to be treated was like shocking. And I still struggle with insecurity sometimes. I still feel hypercritical of myself, but it's gotten a lot better. And the way he's just embraced me for who I am and how I am naturally being, you know, me, and how I look and all the things has helped me really grow in my confidence, honestly. And God, I'm trying to be sentimental. Why is this gnat attacking me? And along with that is him loving my interest and my characteristics and really seeing my strengths and my weaknesses as well. But like, he loved that I was creative and my artistic abilities, and that I love plants and I love traveling and all the things. Like, he embraced that fully and would encourage me to enjoy those hobbies and encourage me to experience those things. Another thing is having someone welcome you in your past experiences with open arms, not to be met with shame or guilt about who you used to be or the things that you've done. Richard was the most understanding, loving, compassionate man ever when I opened up about all of my past and the things that I went through. And that's what we all deserve. We deserve somebody who's not going to be hypercritical of your past or try to shame you for things that you can't even change now. You don't deserve that. These are just the most random list of things that were on my mind that I wanted to share with you guys, and I hope it kind of made sense. And I hope also that if you are single or if you're dating somebody and there are a bunch of red flags or there are things that are concerning, don't feel like you have no options. Don't feel like you have to settle. Don't feel like you have to force a situation to happen. And honestly, singleness is a blessing. You're not half of a person. You're not unwhole just because you are single. And enjoy that time, because guess what? Once you're with your person, you're with them forever. So you guys have all the years to come being together. Those are just some of my thoughts about this. I could probably do a whole series about these things if I actually took the time to write down individual thoughts about it all. But yeah, let me know if you've had any similar experiences in your past or any advice you would give to, you know, men and women who are in these type of situations. I hope that you find self-worth and love for yourself and have high standards. Don't let just anybody be with you, because it's definitely not worth it in the long run. So those are my thoughts for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.